Welcome to The Taxman Show. We ask the questions to get all of your accounting, tax, and small business questions answered. Now here is your host, Albert Taxman Corey.
Everybody, this is Albert Taxman Show with another edition of the Taxman Show, where we ask the questions to build your business consistently. Today we have Mr. Eli. Eli is an awesome person. Guys, this is the reason why you go on Facebook, you start joining groups, and you start telling people and educating people. Well, next thing you know, he comes up, we like each other, and now we're talking. You know, Mr. Eli is a well-known speaker. He now has become one of the world-renowned people who teach you how to speak. So if you got a little product and you can speak, but you don't know how to monetize it, Mr. Eli is the man who's going to take you to the next level. So now that I did that cool intro, Mr. Eli, tell us a little about yourself and where you live.
All right. I'm going to have to stop you because I don't teach people how to speak. So
it's okay. This is live. You go out and tell us what to say. It's okay.
Okay. So thank you so much, Albert. It was a pleasure being here. And I am actually here to talk about what you do when you do speak. So I don't so much teach people how to become better speakers on stage, but when you get on stages and you meet people, whether it be on stage, whether it be on a podcast, a radio show, any of that kind of stuff, how do you follow up more effectively? How do you build those relationships for the long term? Because that is, we've heard the term, the fortune is in the follow-up.
Yes.
But what does that really mean? And that's where we come in. That's where my team and I build systems to help entrepreneurs, primarily speakers actually, to build a system that creates a follow-up system where they don't just hear you or see you one time, but they follow you, they become raving fans, they become clients, and they become referral partners for the rest of your life.
Cool. So now, before we get started, how did you get into this? Because that's something that, Mr. Eli, it's not like you can go to University of South Florida where I graduated. They don't teach this at universities. How did you really get into something like that? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I started off, actually, I started a web and graphic design agency in Phoenix. That was roughly 23 to 25 years, somewhere right around, a long time ago. Built that agency using basic direct mail. I was a big fan of Dan Kennedy at the time and learned some of his stuff. And I took that to the point where at one point I grew it to started doing workshops and classes as well. And I loved it. I became a speaker. I loved doing it. And from there, I started building these systems using the same principles I learned originally from direct mail into email marketing and building follow-up systems and looking at what can we do to build a better experience for our clients overall. And the great thing is I actually stopped building websites over 10 years ago. We absorbed our web design agency into our new company just a few years ago. And after this time, I still have some of my first clients that have stuck with me all this time for the very simple fact that we've built such strong relationships with them.
By the way, we have we have something in common, Mr. Eli, because remember, I started this little rodeo in 1985. Guess what? We have something in common. That means we went and built seven-figure business, guys, when there wasn't no cell phone, there wasn't no internet, and you had to do what I'm going to call old school guerrilla marketing.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy? And you know what's funny as I start to talk to you is you realize even in today's day of modern, we're talking right now on Zoom and we met on Facebook, all this fancy internet world and we can click our phones and I can talk to you and FaceTime and all that good stuff. End of the day, what I try to teach people in my business elevation classes is sometimes old school guerrilla marketing will work just as well.
Definitely.
As all this fancy stuff.
Mm-hmm. And the biggest thing with it is it's not a guerrilla marketing or old school marketing versus the new fancy stuff. It's just a new medium for what was already being used. And that's the cool thing about it because relationships are still relationships. And that's what I'm really big into. We have our phones with these wonderful tools that give us the technology to talk to people across the globe. I mean, it's not uncommon for me to have a Zoom call with people on 3 different continents on the same day.
Right.
But we need to make sure that we're actually using it properly, because what you find, and I'm sure everybody's been in this situation where you've seen that point where, there's 20 people walking down the street and they're all looking at their phones like this, or you see a couple sitting there having lunch at a little cafe. Actually, a friend of mine posted a picture not too long ago of this. She took a picture of a couple sitting at a table, and both of them were sitting there like this, staring at their phones for over an hour, never said a word to each other.
Right.
And we have this wonderful technology. We've become slaves to it, and but we don't realize it to use it properly, which I'm a big technology guy. I'm an automation guy. I love the tools and the technology that we have available, but we've got to do it right and base it around how can we put automation systems and tools and the technology to work to give us the time to do the things we can't, which are building stronger relationships, and use the tools to be able to do that. Just like we're doing right now. We're both on opposite sides of the country, because I'm in Portland, Oregon. You're in Miami, right?
Miami, Florida, dude.
Yeah. So, and I go to Miami. Exactly. Almost as far. If I was 3 hours north up in Seattle, we would literally be as far opposites of the continental U.S. we could. Within mainland. But it's great because we're having this conversation, but we built that relationship because of connections we had, relationships we had.
Right.
We've talked about a couple of people before we started this recording, that people that we know in common and how we kind of had our journey. But then we have tools like Zoom that give us the ability to have a video conference across the country and build better relationships. And you know what? I'm not making it this month, but I believe next month I will be back in Miami. So we'll have to make sure we get together for coffee or something.
What would be, and this is the Taxman Show, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm about helping small businesses grow.
Mm-hmm.
What would be give me a couple of simple tips that people who listen to the podcast, or people are going to see this on YouTube later.
Yeah.
What are some of the cool things that they can do right now to rocket their business without, what was a couple of cool things they could do?
Okay. So real simple. There's one thing you can do. You have a stack of business cards sitting on your desk, because most people do. You're doing any kind of networking at all. Yeah. Go to those, go pull those up. Now, if they're anything less than a week old, send them an email, and I'm going to give you the script. I'm going to tell you, so write this part down. Start with, first off, it was, hey there, whatever their name is. Hey there, Bob. It was great meeting you at XYZ event, whatever the name of the event is. I hope you met some awesome people. I know I did. Okay. There's some psychology by this, by the way. We'll finish it and then we'll kind of go back through it. I would love to, or actually the next piece is, what kind of other events do you attend? Here's a couple that I like to go to. Okay. And you just list a couple of things that you go to, whether it's local, whether it's be a local chamber of commerce, BNI, whatever, or if you're doing national conferences. I do a lot of networking at conferences and seminars, right. That kind of stuff. And I know you do too. Right. I would love to get together and find out more about your business. How does next Thursday sound? In fact, here's even a better idea. Here's a link to my calendar so you can just see what works for you.
Oh, wow.
And then you link it to whatever calendaring system. I know you use Calendarly, right? And so I use Acuity. There's a ton of them out there, whichever one you use. If you're not using one, definitely use it. But you can then put that in there, okay? And then you sign it off. I look forward to getting to know you better and seeing how we can help each other out. And you put your signature, okay? That right there. Go back and listen to this as many times as you need to. There's your script. As a matter of fact, I'll give you the script. If anybody wants to message me on Facebook, just send me a message. Let me know that you saw me on this show, and I will send you a link to where you can download the entire script. But here's something I want you to pay attention to. If you notice one really important thing, that entire thing that I just gave you doesn't say anything about, here's how awesome I am and here's my products and services that you should buy. It's all about building the relationship first. Okay?
And you know what else is funny, what you just said? Remember, when we were talking about, I talk about how small business owners, we live in a noisy world. And Bill's got me on stage saying how to build your business without spending, and I'm big on building your business without spending a lot of money. And guess what, Eli?
You're spending a lot of money to be on stage. No,
I understand that.
I'm just kidding.
It's okay. No problem. But what I'm laughing at, Mr. Eli, what did it cost somebody to go out and do what you just said? Nothing.
Nothing
Free.
at all. Yeah.
Free.
Here's the funny thing about this is that I have given that script to people before. I've shared it with I've shared it with probably tens of thousands of people out there. And I know to this day, it's funny because I will share that script to people when I'm on stage. I'll share that script, and then I'll find out that people want to connect with me. Cool, that's great. We get a connection. I've never actually received one of those scripts from anybody. And you know what that means, though, is they may not be messaging me, which I hope that is the reason. But if you think about this, if you go to an event and just think about this, how many people followed up with you after the event, especially something that sounded like you actually care about them or they care about you and want to get to know you as opposed to just get you to buy their stuff? The chances are 1 or 2 out of 100, maybe, most likely 0. I've had times where I've gone to events, had 300 people that I connected with at an event because it was a big, 5,000 person event. And we got like 1, maybe 2 responses at best. I've had 0 before. And usually it goes into, it was great meeting you at the event. Here's a link to my website. Here's all of the cool stuff I can do to help you. Immediately goes into pitch mode. I have people who became clients of mine and people who become friends over the years that actually met me at an event. I used this exact same script. And they became friends of mine. I've got a friend, I've been friends with him for probably 12 years. And the reason we're friends is because he replied back to that script. Right. I mean, it's crazy how simple something like this is. And, we have systems to actually do a big term. We actually have a campaign for our clients that is actually a 1-year campaign because you can't do just one. The one's going to help. That's an immediate thing that you can do and it'll get you some results. But you want to look at that long-term relationship with people. And so we have a campaign that actually runs for a year just for the basic follow-up, building connections for people. And you can set it up using the wonderful tools we have out there, run it on autopilot pretty much. But you've got to get that first step out there. And that script that I just shared with you, I've given out to a lot of people. It's made tens of thousands of dollars. It's gotten me, probably no less than a dozen or 2 speaking engagements just from sending out an email saying, hey, it was great meeting you. I'd love to help you out if I can.
Well, it's the same gear. Remember, if you saw right away, and we only really started chatting like yesterday, what did I do? I sent you a friend request. And what did I say? Hey, right. And I didn't, and I'm going to tell you, I didn't sell anything. I just said, where you live. And we started talking naturally.
Yep. We're just having a conversation, getting to know each other.
Sure. What's another one? You have any other, and by the way, that's a golden nugget. A couple of minutes even, I'm going to put you in Messenger because I would love that script. Because every time I get people's business cards, the minute I get back, I go out and I will do it. The only thing also I'm going to do to that is I'm going to find a way, Mr. Eli, to put it into 138 characters. Okay. You know why? Because I have that texting system. I use Text Magic. So if I can even, because I try to I call, I have my team, they email them and then we come back and I use the Text Magic system to go back, even though I got other kinds of, I got, all those short code stuff, but I use Text Magic after some of the events when I get your business card, because I can text you real quick. Yeah. And that's
and definitely a version of it with text is perfect. You were asking for another tip. Let me give you a tip related to texting. The very first thing you want to do if you're going to send that text with them is send them your V card immediately. Get them to, and if you can do it, if possible, do it right there with them so they get it, they download it, and they put you into their contacts. There's a very specific reason for this. The world of technology is changing again, and just like we had the can spam rules and all the different things that go on, text messaging is going through that same process right now. The newest version of Apple OS just released a feature where if you turn the feature on, which a lot of people are going to, it's going to make it so if this person that sends you a message is not in your address book, it will automatically delete it. Okay. So there's some tricks that you can do to get around that. But what you want to do is if you can be there right there with them and get them to add you to their address book immediately by downloading your V card, then immediately you're in their address book, and now you bypass that entire roadblock. Cool. Okay. Now Apple just did it. It's a fairly new feature. Guaranteed Android is going to do the same thing soon.
Apple, is the big dog. I mean, I know. I mean, they're in 80% of the market. So, so then I have to figure out, since I use a Text Magic, that I don't use my cell phone. But my V cards all have my cell phone number, so I'll have to.
Right. Does your Text Magic have a actual phone number though, or is it a code?
No. I have both. With the Bill Walsh stuff to put you in the autoresponder, it's the short code.
Yeah.
But, I use all the time in my office the text, the Text Magic, so to talk to clients, because it's easier. I don't mind giving people my cell phone, but I can't send papers back and forth. So that's why I use in the office the Text Magic system.
Right. Yeah.
My V card has my regular cell phone.
So what you can do is on your V card, you just add it as an additional phone number. Okay. So that's what I did with mine. Is I actually have a texting service that I use, and it is if you actually download it, it says that's my mobile number, and then I have a second mobile number which is actually my real number. And I tell people to use that one instead. So I also I have a 360 site, so I have kind of a hub where you can download my V card right there, and if you click on the text, that's the first one that's going to pop up.
All right, dude.
That's a good way to do it.
I love everybody's time. I know we all live in a Disney world.
Yep.
So, Mr. Eli, tell us one last parting advice you want to tell people, and how we can get a hold of you. Because your advice is awesome, and I know my people listening to this will be able to take their business to their next level just by listening to cool stuff you told us.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So the last bit of advice: the money you earn is a result of the value you provide. Write that down.
I love that one.
The money you earn.
Excuse me. Make that a meme, because Mr. Eli just gave you the gold. Sorry if I interrupt you. You just gave the world, Mr. Eli, the gold of the gold, my brother. That's the gold.
Thank you.
That's gold.
Yes, I'm a firm believer of that. The money you earn is a side effect, is a result of the value you provide. So get out there, add more value, make relationships. I mean, just yesterday, I had on Facebook, I connected two people, one person to two separate people that I think are going to be a perfect fit for what they do with each other. And I know that that's going to come back down in the end. I'm going to have so much, I can't wait to hear what kind of magic they put together because of it. And I know that I will be part of that. I know that's the result. That's what's going to happen down the road. Always think about, what am I adding value to? How am I sharing something that's going to help somebody? Because as a speaker, because I'm a speaker, you're a speaker here. And for anybody else, I was taught early on by one of my mentors, Armin Morin, if you ever speak, you want one of three results. Number one, oh my gosh, this was so awesome. He added so much value. I need to know what's in the box. And then they want to buy whatever it is you have for sale. Two, oh my gosh, this was so awesome. I'm going to get out and implement this. I don't have the funds right now, or maybe I'm not ready right now, but I will be based on what he just taught me. And I definitely will get it down the road. Or the third one is, oh my gosh, this was awesome. It's not for me, but I know somebody who will benefit from it. Let me get them connected. That's it. If you're sharing your knowledge, your expertise with other people, those three results will get you everything you need to succeed in life right there. So hopefully that helps. As far as connecting with me, connect with me on Facebook. It's the easiest way. Send me a message. Make sure you let me know that you heard me on here. And what I'll go ahead and do is I'll just put together a quick page for you where people can download that script. So I'll just give you the address for it right now. It's EliDelaney.com. Then Eli's ELYDELANEY.com/taxman. We'll just do that.
All right.
So EliDelaney.com/taxman. Go there. You can get the script, and I'm actually working on a little bit of a video training that I'm going to probably add to it as well. It'll walk you through the psychology of it even better, because there's that script that I gave you actually has a lot of little psychological things that make a big difference on getting better results, and I'll do a little video to walk you through that. I was already thinking about doing that, and since we're on here, I think I'm going to do that. So I'll give that to everybody too.
Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Eli. Guys, you listen to Mr. Eli. He's the person that once you got a product, once you're connecting with people, Mr. Eli is going to take your business to the next level, because I think he's the connection. I'm going to call you the connection king, because once you get the connection,
cool with that.
He's going to take that. He's going to make you to leverage it and take you to the next level. By the way, you can find us on all social media channels. And remember, sharing is caring. Taxman Show. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Hold on, let me end the recording here.
Thank you for listening to The Taxman Show. If you have any questions, please leave it below or email it to albert@1040w2.com. Remember, sharing is caring. Please follow us on all social media platforms.